radiusing the stainless was a bit of a pain in the ass, so you're welcome. I didn't make you watch it. I'm thinking, well, I guess we're past thinking. I'm doing. I'm going to place the 0 fret and have it over with. Then we're going to put some finish on the fretboard. We'll do a few coats of that through the day, and then maybe we can fret tonight or tomorrow. I just want that guy done. Little stainless dickhead. Okay. Now, the whole head needs all kinds of work, and I don't even know what the hell we want to do with it yet, but we could do some of that while we, wait between coats on fretboard, maybe. I do want a quilted inlay. This is necessarily the best way to go at it, but we could just get a rough idea. Of dimensions. But all that needs to be inside of it. A certain amount. So I guess we could cut a piece and then mess with it until we get it the way we want it, and then look at inlaying it. Yeah, fuck it. Let's bandsaw it out. Play with it. See what happens. I just play with this until I like the way it looks sitting on this thing. And next big hurdle, the wing parts. I'd kind of planned on sloping them off a little bit, and not rounded, but a sharp kind of bevel. So I kind of want that inlay to be the full thickness. Problem is, full thickness gets into it covers about half of our access port, which I suppose we could re-drill, but I don't think that's a very good option. So I don't know. Alright, you got cheated out of some pretty boring stuff. I just put a couple coats of True Oil on here. And I put on, a little more than I think it needs. You can rub it back and forth in there until it starts to tack up a little bit, and then rub it off as much as possible with my thingy here. And then newspaper. Now, how much of that actually soaks into the wood and how much soaks into my thingy, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. This paper seems to be really good for this. It's sturdy and durable enough to put up with it, but it does soak up the oil. Are you strong enough to be my rag? I gotta cut that shit out. Gay. Baby butt silky smooth. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for a little while. I don't know, a couple hours, and I will come back and probably do another coat or two. We may have to wait until tomorrow to fret. Yeah, we'll see. I've about decided we're just going to go ahead and inlay that as is and then re-drill the hole. I don't think that's going to be a big problem, to be honest. I think it will be just fine. I might have to order me some more fret wire soon. I just put another coat of goop on, so while that's drying, we'll go ahead and get our wire radiused and cut and nipped and all that good shit. Have it ready to roll. When it's time. Yeah, this is a hell of a lot easier to deal with than that stainless shit. Stainless steel sucks donkey balls. For damn sure. Alright, if you've ever seen any of my stuff, you've already seen all of this. But I suppose, for the sake of completeness, just in case there are new people, I put my wire in place and overhang just the tiniest amount. So I don't want to waste any fret wire, but you also don't want to, you want to cut just ever so slightly oversized. The nippers, they're not going to have a super clean cut. So, I mean, if you tried to do it off, nice and flush, it would probably not work out well for you. I would have to guess. At this point, I kind of know how much tang I need to take off, but I usually have to go back for some more. But I kind of put it in place so I can see, and I want to cut the tang a little bit shorter than it needs to, or a little bit shorter than it looks like it needs to be, because your wire should be more radiused than the board a little bit. So when it gets hammered down into the slot, it's going to spread a little. Where the hell is my neck support? Now I'll generally look at it from both sides and see if I see any gap. So if I do, probably have a problem either with seating or it just needs to be hammered some more. Just make sure it's in there nice and good. And as complete as it can be. Then after I've got a few of them, I'll come along and nip off. Not quite flush. I don't, feel it up to the board and go. Just close. So once we have several, then we'll come in with the file and just do straight square level, just to get it nice and clean. And then once everything's on, then do the bevel. Well, finish straightening up and do the bevel so they all get done the same. Anyway, that's how this is going to go. I think I'm going to save the actual deed for tomorrow when the lighting is better. But we can go ahead and get our tangs trimmed and ready to go. Before committing all this expensive fret, well, not expensive, but all this fret wire to this project, I feel compelled to stop and bask in the glory of the huge number of fuck-ups we have done so far. Just down here. This was the one thing I was worried about and was trying to, not screw up, hopefully, and just screwed up terribly. Starting with the fret slot. It covers up, like I said. It looks just fine, but fuck. The many attempts to get the holes right for the damn headpieces, and we still haven't really. The fact that this shelf doesn't need to be as deep as it is. That was not really the plan. It doesn't look like it's more than our little test piece, but it's more than we needed. It'll be okay, just it didn't come out like we planned. How much the Cocobolo chipped out in first attempts to make our little shelf. The fact that we dug into beyond the shelf, trying to flatten the shelf, because it's got a little bit of a scoop to it. That's not a big thing, because that'll get cleaned up. But the scoop's kind of not awesome. It's pretty flat where, all the holes go, but there's still a little bit of a dip in the middle. Man, try so hard to make things, turn out right, and to fail so colossally on every single step is a little disconcerting. But it is time to get those frets in there. Alright, let's get some frets in there. 2. I have said before, I like to, I don't know, of course it also depends on what side of the neck, end of the neck we're talking about, but every several frets just stop and do some quick cleanup, so when it comes to doing the whole thing, it's less work at once. Kind of breaks up the monotony too. Not that there's that much monotony in it these days. It is a quicker, more painless process these days. But still. Zero bevel at this stage. We're just getting really close to clean. Number 7. Alright, when it comes to clipping these, and as we get down here where it's harder to get this in there, I should have stopped and done each one. I do vertical because the way it pinches. If we did it this way, it could, I don't know, it's probably not going to cause a problem with this where the tangs have been clipped, but if the tang is still there, It could jack it up and unseat on the ends, maybe. I don't know. This just seems like a better, easier, cleaner way to do it. I put it flush against the board and then tilt it down just slightly. So there's just a little bit of that fret. I don't want to try to cut it flush because it won't cut clean. So you cut real close, so there's less work to do with the file, but there's work to do with the file. So you should wind up with a nice, clean, flat, flush fret end. Should. In theory. Okay, now that everybody's flushed, then we can bevel. I've said it before, I don't have a bevel jig like a lot of people do. I just put a little bit of angle and, you know, definitely try to make sure that your angle isn't too much. Too much angle makes it real easy for strings to slip off of frets. It really doesn't take a whole lot of work. Now, until it's time to level and polish and stuff, we're done with frets. Thanks for joining me. If you like what we're doing, if you're digging it, like and subscribe. Catch you next time.